Right guys, welcome to episode 25 of Destination DMU. As you'll see in this episode, we're going to be putting the corridor back on, the exhausts, lots of things like that, and then hopefully we're going to start on some door jambs and things like that going forward. But yeah, lots to see at the rear end basically.
Yeah, so like all that work that I did in the previous episode of remaking that mounting plate, I'm going to fit that on, get that all fitting snug, because I did do a test fit on that, and that does fit really nice. So we're going to start putting that on. Then obviously it's going to be the bit of a pain, which is the curtain, but any things that we come across, that tips and tricks, we'll let you know. And pretty much then getting all those new components that I've had to outsource that I've been talking about for episodes now, but we've got them, and we'll be putting them up, and basically this should be the best suspension type corridor out there when we're done with it. So yeah, we're gonna get on with that. That's pretty much, because it is a big job, that's going to be the entire episode, and we're also going to bang the exhaust on as well, that we've lovingly painted. So yeah, really getting that rear end pretty much done. Getting that corridor looking original, getting the whole back end looking original for the time period we're going for, and then that leaves us with just like a snag list really of loads of little small jobs, and then she's done for the meantime. She's had her exterior restoration complete, so this is second to last episode of the 412, hopefully in the shed, and yeah, so we're really happy that we're getting there, and then we can get on to Project Lazarus. So if you're not subscribed, do subscribe, because that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, fun being pain, but enjoyable to watch.
An epic task ahead with 370. It certainly will be a big comeback, especially for a regular suburban DMU.
So yeah, let's get on with the video and get into this very interesting task of getting a nice new corridor back in our suburban unit.
So here we are now at the corridor end. You would have just seen this get painted, come out looking quite nice. So instead of just clicking my fingers this time, as fun as that was, we're going to try and talk through for our own reference as well as anybody else that's doing this, because that's mainly what these videos are about, giving ourselves a reference so that we know how to do it again. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix this up. It's not a difficult process, this is actually quite light. So we'll just get a ladder in here, shimmy shammy it about. We need to put a bead of the glazier's tape that we use for the gutter. We're going to put a bead of that on here, as well as it did have mastic on it before. So yeah, we're going to start off with this, get this up, get the basis of it going, and then we've got a bit more of a tricky bit, which is actually fitting the fabric of the corridor afterwards. That's very easy to take apart, but a bit more difficult to put in right, so that might be a bit more finicky. But we're going to do this, and then I'll talk you through how we're going to do the corridor curtain itself. But the first things first is there was a cable in here. You probably can't see that. There's basically a little kind of eyelet where a bolt goes through. You put your cable in there, the bolt goes through, acts like a pin. And that cable connects to the bit that swings out, and it was broken, as I said when we took this thing off. But first things first, because it's the easiest we're going to be able to access this the entire time. So first things first, I'm going to fit that cable. I'll do that just before we get this up. And then the last job to do, hopefully, after everything's been fitted, is to then connect the cable underneath to the bit that swings out here. So yeah, I'm going to get on with that now. So as you've seen, we have now put that on. I think that's going to be one of the easiest things to do on this. Fairly simple, you just got to get it in the right place, and then it's just a bit of an arse to actually get it where you want it. But once you get about 3 bolts in and tightened up, the rest kind of go like clockwork. Few difficult bolts to get in behind, but now we're onto this, which is a new corridor section. We didn't have this made, so we don't know how much this costs. This was with one of the few good things that's come out of 370, as you'll find when we get onto her. This was stored in her and came with her when it was purchased. And this is a remade corridor, so we're just going to use it, you know. Saves us a bit of hassle on getting one made, but with these things it's cheaper to get them made in batches. So the next 3 we will get made in a batch of 3. We might get a spare one, see how it goes. So yeah, what you're going to see now is you're going to see this get fitted in. Basically how this goes in is pretty much how it came out in the previous video. This fabric goes on the inside here, and then there are 2 upright pieces of wood that then dome bolts go through the wood, go through the fabric, come out on the side here, and they act as like a clamping force, and they clamp this curtain into place. Then for the bottom, you have that plate there that was mentioned when we took it off. That has had a lot of care and attention. So that does the bottom. You put the corridor on what you can see right now being black, and then the plate goes on top of that, clamps it on. So you'll see that in this next time lapse. And then for the top, there is this really small, weird bit of fiberglass that has been molded to the shape of the top, and yet again, that goes on the inside of this corridor bellow and then goes through the top, and that clamps the top of the curtain up there. So I think we're going to attack it in that order. I'm going to do the sides first because I think they could be an easy win, as we still need to drill holes through the plate, the actual plate that mounts the DMU's buffer beam on the back here, through the new section of metal, because I decided to leave it until we were at this point, because then the holes that I drill are going to be perfectly in the right place. So we'll leave that till second. We'll do 2 uprights, then we'll do that, and then we'll do the little tricky top bit, because it should all be holding itself up there. But the biggest challenge with this is going to be holding it in the right place while we, affix it to the unit. So obviously we didn't have that task last time. It was just a case of this bit down here didn't budge, Stanley knife, problem solved. So yeah, that's what you're going to see. You can see 2 men do a bit of problem solving, and see how it goes, and then we will get on to the last exciting bit, which is the actual bit that hangs. We have left the wire out for the minute. We haven't fitted that because we thought we had what we needed, but what we had is just slightly too long. So we will make ourselves up a custom, well, we'll have to get some made because we don't have all the stuff to, put eyelets in wire rope and whatnot. So we will have a set of 4 of them made. We'll have them made out of corrosion resistant material if possible. And then we're just going to have to suffer for our lack of foresight on that one, and we'll have to do it when the corridor is in situ. Although because the corridor is in good condition, it shouldn't be nearly as hard to get to as taking it off, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. So yeah, that's what we're going to do now. Let's get on with it. So there you have it, we've got that on. Apologies that we didn't film probably the most exciting part of that. I had a bit of an issue with the phone dying. The time lapse was running for so long that by the time we got to it, it turned off. But once we realised, got the rest of it done. Now that is holding itself up there, we've got a nice painted wear plate. So the next stage for this, as I said previously, is to get this bolted into the bottom. I might move you around so you can see that a little bit better. So yeah, this should be a fairly quick process. Then do the top, and then the really exciting bit, which is the bit that moves. So yeah, let's get on with that. So, little update now that you've seen the bottom get done. We have now done the top. All it was is this basically, it would appear that it's like a glass reinforced plastic, semi-fiberglass, you know, something of that, you know, composite nature. And all it is just a capping strip, goes in here, and it basically does what these do for the top. Very simple, very quick, but an update that we have now done that. So this curtain is now fully on, fully holding itself up. So now what you're going to see is I'm going to go back below and give you a bit more of an overview on some of those parts to do with the actual moving part of the corridor. So here we are now at the point where this face plate can be mounted on. It's a relatively simple task, it isn't that heavy. One person can lift it, but obviously 2 people is better. So as you can see up there, we've got a nice new hanging bolt, and we've got some new springs to go along with that. Here is one of the old springs, and here is one of the new springs. Admittedly, this does have a bushing on it, but you can see here, if I put them together, the amount of compression on the old springs, which is why we've gone and gotten some newer springs made. Now these, as I mentioned a few times now, went to a manufacturing place in China, because it was the only place that actually replied to me when I went to get a quote that basically said that they can do custom springs and whatnot, because I couldn't find any standard sizes in the UK. If you know of any standard sizes that are about 5 inches long, you know, 9.5 coils, flat, you know, then let us know. But we don't really need them anymore because we got an order of 10, and these are some of the really important components that some of your donations have gone towards, so thank you very much for that. So we had to have 10 made. They were custom made to the exact measurements of the previous springs, some of the uncompressed ones. They're a 5-inch spring. So yeah, and these have been black powder coated, and they're made of stainless steel themselves. So these, pretty future proof. Unless they compress again, we shouldn't have to have any more of these made, but we've got 2 as spares, just in case for whatever reason a corridor gets a bash, you know, through a freak accident that would be very unfortunate. So yeah, along with that, here is one of those hanging rods, one of the new ones. The old ones were very rotten, but these are, I believe, M20. Yep, they say it on the top. Couldn't get any stainless hardware for these. Had to go to Germany for these as well, and we had some new bushings made. The old ones, and I'm not kidding when I say the old ones basically didn't have anything left. Very simple to make. All you do is you take one of the bushing, one of the actual, one of the shaped parts like this. You make a negative for it, and then you press it. You basically press a washer, an M20 washer or something near to that size through it. So we've had a load of, basically we've got all new wear components made, all new springs, and obviously the corridor has been taken very well care of. So everything we have done, we've done to the best of our ability where possible. So yeah, what you're going to see now is we're going to have someone in the unit, have a transmission table, lift this up with the transmission table, get it to the height, and obviously that person in the unit is going to make sure that, you know, nothing goes awry on the top end. Obviously one person down here, one person up there, and then at the appropriate moment we will get someone on a ladder to get the nuts and the springs on the bottom here, because these will come down through this hole. The spring assembly comes through, seats in there, and yeah, that is that. So let's get on with that, and then we are nearly done with the corridor. We've only got the curtain to clamp in here, which I'll go on to when we've done this. So here we are, we've now lifted that in. It's very easy, it's not very heavy, it's just awkward. For example, you can actually lift it up, not that. It's just the awkwardness of it. So transmission table, more than capable. Very controlled ascent. And now we've got it here. Getting it down is a bit more difficult because things want to stay connected to the things that they've been connected to for years. Next step for this is fitting the interior. Basically, it's a clamping mechanism that clamps this curtain to the actual the swingy bit, as it were. But these, as you can see, are orange, and so is the bit that goes in. Now, we have looked specifically behind these doors, if you can see that, but they were originally white. Now, corridors were fitted around the time of refurb. Some were fitted before the refurb happened, others were fitted during, and some after. So originally, for the time period we were going for, these would have been white. That's all we know. We haven't got any pictures to confirm it, but we know BR well enough now, having gone through this entire unit, that where they don't have to do something and it doesn't matter, they don't do it. So originally white, they wouldn't have painted the backs because, well, no one's going to see that, no one cares. So I believe in the 90s these went orange, correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to paint these white. This will get done off camera, but the bit that's going to go in the middle, so that there isn't a continuity issue of, well, it's just suddenly gone white, we'll probably show us painting that. It'll just be a gloss white. These appear to be, originally I said they were like some kind of glass reinforced plastic or fiberglass like material, but they appear to be actually some metal that's been bent into shape and then had a Formica coating. And where it's worn down, you can see here it's worn the orange through, it's then gone white, and then it's gone the colour of the Formica. So yet again, indicating that this was originally white, and these got done in the 90s. And these were fitted around refurb, so therefore the only other colour they could have been was white. So these will be going white. So yeah, you're going to see a little bit of work get done on the bit that fits in here. And then it will just be fitting this wear plate, which will be a really nice feeling because it will then be complete. The only last little thing to be done, which will be done when we do the interiors, is a rubber mat gets fitted on top of the two wear plates. Obviously, as the train's moving, this has a tendency to move naturally. So that rubber mat is to stop anything getting caught in between these two wear plates. So yeah, that would be the only thing that we don't do for this. So yeah, that's what you're going to see now. You're going to see a little bit of work take place on that interior, and then we're going to fit it, which is going to be a bit difficult because it was a pig to get off. That was one of the most difficult parts of this to get off. And I imagine it's probably going to be one of the more difficult parts to get back on, because you have to keep this curtain in exactly the right place around the whole thing while you slide it in, and you've got to really kind of manipulate it to get it in as you want. So yeah, let's get on with that. So we've obviously got this corridor up. Only thing left to do on this is paint that. Obviously you know that, but that'll be coming out. We've just got to get like a specialist like fiberglass paint for it, because it's like an aluminium fiberglass. So
and some slightly better weather.
Cold. Yeah, it's a bit cold now, but you'll probably be seeing this when it's nice and warm outside, I imagine. But we have got these lovely stacks to go on. Now you would have seen these probably get etch primed. I'll show you me welding them on 370. Because we were quite busy at that point in time. So now what we've got to do, they've been painted in couple of coats of exhaust paint. Just need a little bit of a touch up, thicken up that coat, get our lovely silver, you know, get the depth there. So yeah, pretty simple. We're just going to bolt it on, 4 bolts really, and then we're going to work out where our mounts need to be and put a mount up there to obviously keep it up so that it don't move around. But you're just going to see us quickly get these on. We are trying to really get this looking complete and really get the snag list shorter and shorter and shorter. So yeah, let's get on with that.
Right guys, so as you'll see, the corridor is now completed. So it's been undercoated with a primer, and then it's been top coat glossed with this, I've used all marine paint on it basically, marine fiberglass paint, so it should stand the test of time hopefully. We've gone for this nice white. We think it's a prototypical colour, not entirely sure, but we like it. It'll be nice and bright when you stand in the thrash box that will become the 2 corridor connections. But yeah, it looks a lot better. It's really come on a long way, and that completes this sort of this part of this restoration. Now the corridor is now complete, so that's another job ticked off the list, and we're getting so close now.
Before we get into the outro of this video, I'd just like to say a quick thank you to Chris B for his generous donation, and we will show you where that's helped us out in the next video.
Right guys, so that wraps up this episode. As you will see, we have built up this corridor from nothing. It was just knackered components, so obviously we've got the faceplate that Johnny's good self has made up. That's come out really well, fits really nicely. Nice new corridor curtain with topper. This faceplate here, which has been stripped, cleaned, painted, all the usual bits. Obviously the new suspension system components, so the new springs, the new hanging bolts, the new bushes. Really gone to town with it, and now this corridor is probably one of I'm going to say it, one of the best suburban DMU corridor connections, suspension type at least. Out there, I'd say, because we put a lot of effort into getting it like this. The other party piece that we've got sorted is the straight pipe exhausts. They do really finish off the look of the vehicle with the silver on there as well. So when looking back at it from your angle, the whole unit does look really nice. Just shows how far we've come, to be fair, and it's quite rewarding to see for some of the long days we've put in. And then the corridor has obviously had the innards painted white as well, as you'll have seen. So yeah, we've really achieved a lot in this video, to be fair. Yeah, I'll hand that over to Johnny now.
Yeah, so, you know, like a lot of work, and it's been done over a long period of time because, as you might have seen, one of the recent videos is we acquired another DMU. I'll link up here to the first video on that. So we started this coming towards the end of summer, so it's been months because there's been surprisingly a lot of work in the background for those videos, and it takes a lot of your time. Evidently, when you go watch it, you'll understand that a lot of work had to go into that. And we also went to Midland Railway Centre. We did basically a 10-day holiday, as it were, going around and doing lots of videos and bringing a lot of information to you. So those are the last 3 or 4 videos, 5 videos that we've put out for you guys, is all of that trip. So a lot of work has been going on, hence why we've slowed down here, but we haven't really slowed down because you can't really tell because we've put out loads of other content for you. But really, go and watch that video. That is something different, something unique, and something you don't see in preservation. So I'll link the first video on 400 at the end of this video as well. And what's next for 412? Well, we're coming to the end of her. She looks nice. the back is now complete, everything's painted, everything looks nice. Don't know if everything works nice yet, but that'll be in a few years' time when we come to tackle everything from the waist down, as it were. She did run, so hopefully we got a good start on that one. But for the next video, we've got a snag list, and it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Corridor, big item off that. So on the next video, we're going to be going through those doors, all 20 of them, because we got gifted with a Suburban. So lots of doors, and not many of them actually work. We've had to rip out most of the wooden door frames or take them out, mostly rip them out because they were rotten. I mean, the amount of water ingress, shocking. So we've got to go through and we've got to get them all working. So that's a task in itself. So in the next video, we're going to be going through that. We're going to show you one of the last doors and then tell you everything we've learned, how to do it. And yet again, 400 come in massively handy for that. So that should give you a clue of where 400 went. But go and watch that video, find out. But 400s, some of 400's bits are actually in 412 now and have saved us a significant amount of time, trouble, pain and tears. So yeah, that's going to be on the next video. So thank you very much for watching and we'll see you then.